I spoke with a lovely woman who was mad that she had $3 million. And I said, look, it just sounds kind of bad you saying that because there's a lot of people that don't have $3 million, but I'm intrigued, so tell me why. And she said, yeah, I just why do I have 3 million? And I said, look, this is weird. Like, what's going on? And we started talking. Her health no longer is going to allow her to travel to the degree she'd like in retirement. And she's mad because she says, hey, if I had 2 million now that I realize it, I think I could have traveled more, and now I've got bad sciatica where I'm not going to be able to travel to the degree I'd like in retirement. So I said, we have to explore this. So I'm going to be telling you the story and showing you the case study so that if you're wondering, yeah, should I work 6 more months or 1 more year or 2 more years or 10 more years? This is going to give you some perspective. Now, it's weird to say there's no such thing as too much money. And when I heard someone tell me that, even another financial advisor, I said, hey, that sounds good for you, but like I can never have too much. Okay. But now I'm starting to really see, and I'm talking to different people, there really is too much money, because if you really wanted to optimize to the nth degree, which I know some of you do, you're going to work till you're 80 and you're going to have $100 million. And that's not the goal. So I don't want you to retire too early, run the risk of running out. I don't want you mad at me when you're 80 with $20 million going, Ari, why didn't you tell me I was in a fine spot? I could have retired early when I had my energy and I had my health like you preach about all the time. So today's case study is going to be helpful for you. Now we're going to be going through a case study today, but please know, please be smart about this. Everything that I'm going to go through is for fun, educational, informational purposes only. No financial advice is being given. I'm trying to make it as engaging as possible with real case studies showing you scenarios. I hope that this is helpful. Please look at this important disclosure, changing names for security purposes. Just want to give you guys the most engaging content. Please consult your financial advisor, legal team, tax preparer, whenever you're executing real planning in depth. Once again, not financial advice today. Now I have to commend you guys real quick. We're going to get into it right now, but you can see here, I make lots of different videos and I'm very transparent and I try to help all sorts of people. I have videos that I released a few hours ago. You can see here of someone that's 55 with $1 million, all their money's in a 401k, and they're wondering if they can retire early. I have other videos here where I'll show, hey, how do you save huge taxes if you have $20 million? You can see these videos will not get as many views as some of the other, let's call it clickbaity type content. And I never try to make that type of content, but I recognize that some of the things I'm going to show on my channel are going to resonate and some are going to resonate just a whole lot less if it doesn't apply to you. I want to help you no matter where you're at in your stage of life. If you're 10 years out from retirement, if you're about to retire, I just want you to get confident, because retirement is not a light switch that you go like this and now you're confident and everything's great. It's a dynamic thing, and I encourage people to be a retirement boxer. So I have my little dopey, silly analogies because it what makes it stick. That's what I'm always trying to come up with. So I have to thank you guys, because truly on my last video here that I posted, you could see, and this is nature of the business, okay, but I get some people that will comment things, not always the nicest, but that comes with the territory. And you can see this comes from David HN2QZ, who says, too long of an introduction. I lost interest about the time you said you were the VP. What? You're a kid. Saying you're the VP just means your dad's name is on the lease of the office where you keep your game station next to the laundromat. Guys, joke's on him. I play Xbox. Okay, no, I don't, but just give you an example. An adult with valuable, legitimate info doesn't need to spend minutes spouting out your bona fides. So I'm a human, so yes, these things affect me, but I do my best to not look at too many comments, but I still want to engage. And on this one, I clicked, and you guys were rock stars. And you're at my defense going, oh, Michelle's going, look, you must be new. D. Bartholomew 2 is going, not only new, but just rude. Way off base. This guy's young. Please troll your negative self elsewhere. This is a fun channel, and Ari's helped my not young husband and myself tremendously. Sounds like someone is having to eat too much cauliflower. If you guys follow the channel for a while, you know what this means. Don't change a thing. Your content is helping. And I'm like, you guys are the best. So guys, I recognize lots of comments come in on different videos. Today's case study isn't going to be you. This is for a single woman who's not in good health, wondering, hey, what should I have done differently? Hopefully you can take some lessons from it. Maybe it's 1, maybe it's 2, maybe it's 10. But if there's certain content you guys want me to make, drop it in the comments below. I do review that, and that's what I'm making videos based off of. So let's meet the case study of the woman we're going to go through, but know that before this, I had a long conversation with her. And it was coming later in the meeting when she started telling me about her health and regrets. And I start a lot of my conversations going, would you rather retire right now, but it means you can only spend this amount? Or would you rather retire at this time, but it means you can spend this amount? And it's always interesting because some people go, I'd really love to retire right now, but I only want to spend this amount. I go, well, look, sorry, we don't live in like fairyland. You don't get both. Other people go, 10,000 a month. What would I do with that? I'm good to go. So I could retire now. I'm like, I don't know why you're still working. Other times people go, I can't wait to retire next year. And they're like this. I'm like, you should work 7 more years. And they're like, what? I'm like, look, you don't have to. I'm just giving you my opinion, which is if you don't want to run the risk of running out of money and protect against getting unlucky if markets don't do well or tax brackets change or you name it, this is what I'd recommend you do. And they're like, oh, that's kind of freaking me out. So by no means am I in the business to freak people out. I just don't want you mad at me when you retire too early and go, why didn't you tell me to work another year? So I'm always naturally conservative with this planning because when you retire, yeah, you might need income for 40 or 50 plus years. So I know a long intro to today's case study, but thank you in advance. So here's the case study. This woman right here, $450,000 in a superhero account, $400,000 in an inherited account, $2.2 million in a 401k, and it's about $3,058,000. And she currently is 63 years old, if I recall correctly, 63 years old, just changed her name. And when we talked about spending, it was very simple. So she's 63 today, and she wants to retire next year. Now, once again, she's been pushing it back and now she regrets going, maybe I didn't need to save as much as I've saved till now because of what I want to spend. She didn't really take a lot of time to talk about her expenses. I wish we took more time together, but $10,000 a month, that was her blanket statement of like, hey, that's going to cover everything and more. I don't really like doing it that way. So if you haven't seen this software already, what I like doing is I want you to go in and add in long-term care, and not just long-term care for the sake of it, but go in and say, okay, what level? Is it assisted living? Because that changes things. Is it nursing home? Like what level of long-term care are we looking for? And really getting more strategic with this. Education. Are we helping out kids, grandkids, vacations, weddings, properties? Are we going to maybe downsize? Are we going to buy a business? How much do we want to gift? What are our legacy goals? Other goals? So I like when people get more specific in here because $10,000 a month just makes you go, yeah, it covers everything. But what if it doesn't? And it doesn't really help you track your retirement spending. So I'd rather people go, yeah, $6,000 a month, that's my base living. And then $40,000 a year, that's what I want to travel with. Great. So I want us to go deeper, but I went through this in a way that resonated with her. And the best strategy always is one that makes sense. So because of that, we went through her plan. And you can see this is what her plan was showing is basically, hey, you're 63 today. I know it says 62 here, but for planning, she's 63. Just need to update something. And she's like, maybe I retire at 64, but she was upset because she goes, look, I have $3 million plus. I'm on track for 5 million. I have no children and I'm not in good health anymore. And so I didn't go in and show, hey, what if you retired earlier? But I said, look, at this point, what's done is done. And I know you wish you retired earlier, but you didn't have the confidence to retire earlier. Truly, that's why you kept working. Now, I think a part of you, and I was transparent with her, I said, I think a part of you kept working because you were worried about, hey, what about this? What about that? And you actually didn't know what you wanted to do in retirement. Apparently, she got her sciatica from sitting for long periods of time. And you can see I just moved myself in the chair because I'm like, I don't want that to happen to me. But she had sciatica, and so now she says her travel won't be to the same degree. I said, okay, well, great. What can we do now? What we could do is we can spend more money. And I showed her it like this. And she's like, I don't want to spend $15,000 a month. Like I don't even know what I would do with that. And I don't want to run the risk of running out of money. And this is not, I don't like a downward sloping graph. I said, look, I get that. So I want us to be more intentional. How would you look at this? And she goes, to be honest, I'd look at this with regret. That's what I already told you. And I get her frustration. It's like, imagine you go to the doctor and you're like, hey, I'm in pain. And the doctor's like, I feel like you're hurting. You're like, no, I got that. I'm here to get out of pain. So I'm asking questions, trying to gauge at the same time going, hey, I have an important responsibility here. And in this case, I said, okay, what could we do? What about massages? What about physical therapy? She goes, are they in network? I said, we're past the in network. For you, we need to actually think through this in a very intentional manner. What if you spent $15,000 a year, like literally asking you to get massages every week, I mean, multiple times a week, go to physical therapy? She's like, I'd be uncomfortable with that. I said, and then I got to be transparent with her. I said, I'm uncomfortable with you in pain, dying, with $3.8 million and you told me that was not your goal. You don't have heirs to leave this to. And she was like, okay, kind of needed the tough love in that moment. And I said, well, then this is what's starting today. And you're not working another year. You are stopping working right now. And she's like, yeah, I'm working on a project. I said, okay, maybe not like right now, but this is something you should consider. And I said, what about investing? What's your philosophy around investing? She goes, I'm very comfortable investing. I like being really aggressive. I said, okay, what if we put you on most aggressive? And she's like, yeah, that doesn't bother me at all. And I showed her the planning and the different things, and it would make her a little bit more money, but she's like, that's not my concern. My concern is I now don't feel I'm going to be able to do what I want to do in retirement. I said, well, then it seems like, tell me if I'm wrong, but the only fix here is to now make sure we prioritize our health. So what else can we do? And she's like, yeah, maybe I could walk more at work. I said, look, that sounds good. And I'm all about direction over speed, but I don't know if walking at work is going to cut it. And I'm not a doctor, but I think we really need to start prioritizing the massage and physical therapy and health more than anything. She's like, okay. So I don't have enough to report back if that's working, but what I can tell you is this is a story to give you the real kind of hard details of someone that regrets having her current balance. Now she regrets it now because she sees what she's on track for, $4 million plus, but she is truly like, I'm hearing her share very serious thoughts around, I should have retired earlier. Why didn't I think about this? And oh, I'm so stupid and this and that. But yet she's still working today. So there's this non-financial aspect of retirement that not a lot of advisors talk about, which is the how do you get the emotional component to actually go retire? I don't think she could have done it without a plan, truthfully. And I would have wanted to show her something that is really showing her, hey, your withdrawal rate, what you're worrying about, you want to spend 6% in retirement, that's not sustainable. But what happens is it starts to decrease throughout your retirement. And what I don't want to have happen is I don't want you to be mad at me later when you have plenty of money going, hey, why didn't I retire earlier? And you're going to have required distributions and your spending is going to be high and all these different things. So because of this, I wanted to really say, hey, what's in our control, what's not in our control? A lot of you guys are wondering if you really can make an early retirement happen. This is going to help you. So this is a probability of success. It's called Monte Carlo. This is not the reason someone should retire early, but it's a consideration. So I'll highlight this. This was another advisor. Once again, not me. I don't know this guy. I've never spoken to this guy. I saw this LinkedIn post. I think he illustrated it well. He said, my clients with 100% probability of reaching their goals are usually miserable. Generally, just working hard and saving diligently, not much else. That's what happened with a recent client. And a lot of you guys right now are going, but that's what we thought we were supposed to do. Isn't 100% good? There's a point where it's good and there's a point where it's dangerous. And so he goes on to say, as an advisor, he tries to target 60 to 70% probability of financial success and regularly reassess and adjust. It's a dynamic plan. And trying to project out your life for 20 plus years, that's just not possible. So what I like about what he was saying is this 100% probability of success, this is generally someone dying with too much money. 100% probability to pass away with $6 million. Well, that's not this person's goal. And now they want to travel, but travel might not happen at the degree they'd like. So I would encourage you, if you're watching this right now, can you start prioritizing your health? Can you maybe retire earlier, take a job that pays less, that you enjoy more? What can you do today so you just don't end up like this woman going, why didn't I retire earlier and prioritize my health? That's the message for today. Less of a specific conversion or harvesting or fancy tax technique that I like talking about. Plenty of videos on those. I want to give a little bit of a different twist today. So hopefully this was helpful. If so, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks, guys.